His story begins in a small village in 1976, where some children are playing football in the fields. As the sun begins to set, everyone starts heading home, but two boys are so engrossed in the game that they don't feel like leaving. Suddenly, Sutra Snow accidentally kicks the football into a cornfield. Both boys enter the field to find it, but as the darkness thickens, they struggle to find anything. Just then, strange and eerie sounds start coming from inside the cornfield. Instead of getting scared, the boys decide to go deeper inside. Suddenly, a girl appears in front of them, holding their football in her hands. She then swiftly runs back into the field. Without thinking, Sutra Snow chases after her, and the other boy follows him. But as soon as he steps out of the cornfield, he is shocked. His friend is lying on the ground, and the girl is mercilessly attacking him. Seeing this, he starts trembling with fear. Terrified, he runs to save his life. The village erupts in chaos, and people set out with burning torches to search for Sutra Snow. Eventually, they find his body near the riverbank. The next day, the father of the deceased boy arrives at Abdi's house and accuses him of murdering his son. The surviving boy keeps insisting, "I didn't kill him. It was a girl who killed him." But who would believe him? Everyone thinks he is lying. Just then, an old man with one eye arrives and says, "Abdi is telling the truth." He then begins to reveal that all of this is the result of a 29-year-old curse. In 1947, there lived a wealthy landlord named Sojiman in a village. His uncle was pressuring him to give up his land if Sojiman's wife Suri didn't conceive soon. The land would go to his uncle. With no other option left, Suri met a woman named Tokina, who claimed she could help her get pregnant, but at a price. Tokina convinced her to make a dangerous pact with the devil. In return, she was promised twin children. Without thinking much, Suri accepted the deal. "If you don't raise your child properly, this curse will destroy your entire family year after year until your entire bloodline is wiped out." But Suri only wanted one thing, a child. She was desperate to become a mother at any cost, so she agreed to Tokina's conditions. Then the terrifying ritual began. Tokina made her drink a mysterious black potion. As soon as Suri drank it, her body started convulsing violently. She collapsed to the ground, and her eyes rolled back. 2 months later, a miracle happened. Someone told her that she was going to be the mother of twin daughters. When her husband Sojiman heard the news, he was overwhelmed with joy. He even decided on names for his daughters, Suma for the elder one, and Kuma for the younger one. The village celebrated grandly, but the real horror began when the babies were born. On the day of delivery, Suri, in her unconscious state, saw a terrifying shadow, but when she looked closely, it vanished. Then something happened that left everyone horrified. The first daughter, Suma, was born, but she was terrifyingly ugly and deformed. Her body was not normal, and she didn't even make a sound after birth. Even the midwives were left in shock. But then the second daughter, Kuma, was born completely healthy. When Sojiman saw his first daughter, Suma, his blood boiled with rage. He said, "I don't want a child who will bring disgrace to my family name for life." Enraged, he picked up a knife and killed his own daughter. Sojiman told the whole world that he had only one daughter, Kumala, but he didn't know that the daughter he had killed was still alive, even in death. Kuma turned 3, but she couldn't walk or speak. As she grew older, her behavior became increasingly strange. Anger, screaming, and bizarre actions. By the time she turned 8, her behavior became even more dangerous. She would disappear suddenly or start doing strange things. One day when she went to the market, some boys called her crippled and started throwing stones at her. Her parents saw everything but ignored it completely. As soon as they got home, her father locked her in the storage room and beat her mercilessly. That night, while Kumala was sleeping, she suddenly started hearing voices. Slowly, the voices grew louder and louder. The sound was coming from her wardrobe. As soon as she looked at the wardrobe, its door opened on its own. Suddenly, a bald, scary-looking child appeared in front of her. His eyes had an eerie glow, and his smile was enough to send chills down the spine. "Don't be afraid, Bali. I'm your twin sister," the child said. "My name is Suma. I won't harm you." Sojiman was furious. He burst through the door and slapped Kumala hard across the face, but her mother Suri just stood there silently, watching everything. Kuma's eyes filled with tears, but her patience was wearing thin. A while later, Kumala quietly entered the study room. Sojiman's eyes were focused on the books when he lifted his head, but what he saw in front of him left him in shock. Kuma walked up to him, picked up a pen, and stabbed it straight into Sojiman's hand. The next moment, Sojiman screamed in pain. The next morning, Sojiman made a terrifying decision. He tied Kuma's hands and feet and left her standing in the fields, bound to a wooden pole like a scarecrow. Kumala cried, screamed, and begged for forgiveness, but her mother Suri just stood there watching without shedding a single tear. She was eventually untied from the pole, but as soon as everyone sat down for dinner, Kuma urinated on the table in front of everyone. Suri turned away in disgust, and her father's blood boiled with rage. This time she would be beaten so severely that she would never forget it. But just as a servant stepped forward to hit her, Kumala attacked him instead. Suri quietly glanced at the mirror, and what she saw made her soul tremble. The next morning, the maid Sam, whom Kuma loved the most, came to her and gently asked, "Child, why are you always so angry?" Kuma replied, "It's not my fault. It's Suma's fault. She makes me do all this." Hearing Suma's name from outside, Suri was horrified. In a panic, she rushed straight to Tokina, but when she arrived, the news she received was chilling. Tokina had died last month. Now no one could help her. As time passed, Kuma's actions became even more terrifying. Even the village boys started provoking her for fun. But this time, when they tried to mock her, Suma appeared and scared them all away. In the distance, her mother and father just stood there watching silently without saying a single word. At night, when Kumala was locked up in the warehouse again, the place was pitch dark. But suddenly, her eyes began to glow red. She thought, "Enough is enough." Kuma took out a sharp knife. A strange smile appeared on her lips as she walked toward the boy who had bullied her. She killed him. With the first rays of the morning sun, the entire village was shaken. The fields were stained with blood, and human heads were mounted on wooden stakes in the rice fields, as if they were part of some horrifying game. When the villagers got closer, they saw that the severed heads belonged to the same boys who had harassed Kuma the previous day. Near the corpses lay Kuma's old tattered doll. Trembling with anger and fear, the villagers rushed to Kuma's house. "This is your daughter's doing. Hand her over to us," they demanded. But her father Sojiman firmly replied, "Don't accuse us without proof." The villagers had no solid evidence, so they left disappointed. But Sojiman's doubt started to grow. At first, he couldn't believe his own daughter could do something like this. However, when he went to the warehouse, he noticed a large hole in the wall, meaning Kuma could have sneaked out at night and committed those horrific murders. Now the seed of suspicion had completely taken root in Sojiman's mind. When Suri heard that Sojiman was beginning to doubt his own daughter, she was shocked. Taking a deep breath, she said, "Suma, the one you had already killed with your own hands." Sojiman stood frozen in disbelief, but Suri continued, "You had already killed her once before, but perhaps she never left." Sojiman, feeling anxious, rushed to Kuma's room and asked her, "Tell me the truth, what's happening?" Kuma replied, "Papa, Suma will never leave me now because I didn't do all this. Suma killed everyone." As soon as Sojiman heard this, he shackled Kuma's feet. By now, everyone in the house realized that a major disaster was going to happen. At midnight, Kuma's dearest maid Sam, whom she considered like a mother, came to the storeroom, hugged her, and said, "Tomorrow is your 10th birthday, my child. What gift should I give you?" Tears filled Kuma's eyes as she said, "Just leave this place. Suma will kill you." And with that, Sam left with her son. Sojiman then went to a priest named Kusno. Kusno said, "Tonight at midnight, when Kumala turns 10, Suma will completely take over her body. If she is not stopped before then, Kuma will be permanently transformed into a demon." Kusno took out a sacred dagger and said, "This can weaken her spirit, but there will be only one right moment to use it." As soon as Sojiman reached home, he saw the entire house drenched in blood. His wife Suri lay on the ground, covered in blood. Tears welled up in Sojiman's eyes as he looked at Kumala. Her clothes were soaked in blood, and her eyes had turned completely black. Sojiman pulled out the dagger given by Kusno and tried to approach Kumala, but suddenly Suma's spirit turned into a dark cloud of smoke and merged into Kuma's body. Now this was no longer just Kuma, she had fully transformed into Suma. And then she attacked Sojiman. Sojiman had only one option left, to call the villagers. He screamed with all his might, and soon chaos erupted in the village. Everyone was shouting, "Suma! Suma!" while searching for her. Meanwhile, Sojiman picked up his last weapon, the sacred dagger, and set out to destroy the spirit himself. In the middle of the fields, he saw a dark shadow. Without wasting any time, Sojiman attacked it. The dagger went straight into Suma's stomach. Everyone thought it was over, but then Suma started laughing. She plunged the dagger into Sojiman's chest. His screams shook the entire village. The next morning, the villagers witnessed a horrifying sight in the fields. Sojiman's corpse was hanging from a giant wooden cross, and wooden needles were pierced into his eyes. The village was engulfed in terror. Meanwhile, Sam, who had left the village, returned. But she wasn't alone. Her son Sabdo, who had only one eye as a child, had grown up. He warned the villagers, "Suma has returned." And with this, the story of the movie comes to an end. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Also subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.